Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, now it's in the middle of the Sunday. So, how about you? Have you been very busy today? Me, yeah, I'm very disappointing. It's very disappointing that the weekend already, going end, doing nothing. Yeah, really doing nothing. Yeah. So very disappointing. Yeah. Anyway, today I'm gonna also talk about the movie review that I watched last Friday, and nowadays I think I feel my memory is not that sharp that it used to be before. Yeah. So I've started doing this the reviewing that movie I watched. Yeah, as I mentioned, maybe it's age that I think I forget things very easily. So I hope this kind of small habit, yeah, reviewing on the YouTube channel about what I've done, what I've watched, what I've read, will little bit be helpful. Bring some of my memory back. Yeah, I hope so. So today, the movie that I want to tell you is, what was the title? Yeah, Riceboysleeps. Yeah, that I saw it, watched it on the Friday night, and it's a Canadian movie. It's about Korean immigrants, specifically the first generation of the diaspora, and the story of it's not that very fancy movie, but a spectacle movie. But it's a little plain movie. But the story really resonated deeply with me. Yeah, especially one particular scene. Yeah, the scene. If you would watch the movie, you would find the scene was the moment that the Korean women choosing their English names. Yeah, so the kind of experience, it was remind me of the old times that I had experienced as well. Maybe many of Korean they would also went through this kind of similar experience if they go abroad or they are related to the English field. So yeah, me as well, my case, the moment really surprisingly relatable. So yeah, this film, as I mentioned, it's a Canadian movie, and it's about it's a story about a mother and son, and maybe the story, maybe it is reflected the director's like a little bit autobiographically. His experience was related, I think, and it's about the story, story of the emotional journey of a mother and her son. Yeah, they immigrated to Canada in the 1990s. And as I mentioned earlier, throughout the movie, the what stayed with me the most, little interesting was the emotional theme of the how can I say, the mothers, their confusion and the identity struggles, and their very quiet but very deep strength of the immigrants, I think. Yeah. Here's the story. There is a girl woman, and then there is when the baby child girl the boy when she gave birth, but when she gave birth she couldn't get married with her husband. to her husband because of the family opposition. So the boyfriend, the husband, he just took his own life in the hospital. When after he died, the woman became a single mother. And because at the time in Korea, they say in the movie say that they can register the son officially to the Korean government because she's a single mother, not married woman. So she just decided to go to the Canada to raise her child. So she eventually immigrated to Canada, and she tried to. It's a story while she's raising her son alone in Canada. Yeah, this movie is just, background is set in the 1990s, and in Korea, at the time, it's not, the environment is a little bit different. The world's perception is to the Korea is a little bit different. In Korea, it was late 1980s. The Korea government, restricted until the 1980s for the, personal, private overseas travel. So at the time in 1990s, the Korean is not that familiar to the world, not that well known internationally, not like these times. Yeah. So many of the, diaspora program, the movie, they handles about their, culture. They have to struggle with the cultural misunderstandings and something like that. But I think this, so of course in this movie, there also I feel that the movie, they touch about the kind of cultural misunderstanding, something like that, but not that deeply. Rather than the, how can I say, racial discrimination or cultural misunderstandings, they rather, handle about the woman's or the son's identity itself, the life itself, I think. So while watching this movie, there is a scene that shows that the mother working in a factory, and there Korean immigrants, some of the Korean immigrants, they get together and they sit together and then come up with English names for their children. There is a scene like that, and at the time it was from that scene I felt that it was that like playing a game, picking a news names, was like this. If somebody took the Navy as her son's name, and other women, other moms, they have tried to pick another name. Yeah, so it was a little bit, scene like filled with a little bit humorous scene, and but at the same time, I felt that it's a little bit, I think, subtle sadness. Yeah. So that reminded me of my own experience in the early 1990s. At the time I was in a university student, the first grade, and I had an English class, and on the first day, during the first class, my teacher gave each of us a name, English name, and probably based on the teacher's his first impression of us, he gave me the name to the students, and I was given the name Laura, yeah. But I don't know nowadays, but at the time, most of the Koreans, the pronunciation R sound is so difficult, So in my case, whenever I was called, I couldn't respond at once because I didn't realize. I didn't realize that my name is calling with Aurora. Aurora is not, he's a native speaker. When the native speaker speaks with R sound, yeah, it was really I had a listening problem. So I asked to my teacher to change it, and I became, I ended up my name became the Lona, yeah, no R sound, low L sound and N sound only. Yeah, and now I am still using it. But the problem is that the teacher side, since then, I still, he seemed to use the different name, Rona, like that. Yeah, not the R. Yeah, so it reminds of those times. Yeah, it's a funny thing that the name was still unfamiliar. Yeah, interestingly, at the time, I was studying French at the same time, so I pronunciation the letter even Lona nowadays. People say Rona or Lona or Lorna, but myself, because I was studying French, I thought that the name, the spelling is Laura, Na, I mean, yeah, I thought like that, yeah, but I never noticed it because at the time I don't remember that I wrote down. There's no chance to write down my name on the paper, so I thought that just Lona is Launa, yeah. But later, many of Lona was, people mostly Rona or Lona, something like that. What am I talking? I don't know what am I talking. Anyway, the scene reminded me of my old days, the university student days. So, yeah. So I'm sure that most of Koreans, they were not comfortable with the R sound either. Yeah. So anyway, I intentionally chose a name that avoid it. Yeah, at the time. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyway, get back to the movie. The memory just came back vividly while watching that movie. The specific scene that the Korean mother, they, huddle together and then trying to pick English name for their kids. Yeah, it felt really, really, a little bit comic, but yet, feeling melancholy, I think. Yeah. So, did I mention it was not that, not that deeply, heavy movie on racial discrimination? I think this movie, doesn't focus on the racial discrimination or trauma. Of course there is a little bit, mentioned, but because the teacher and the classmates, when the kid got into the school on the first day, they don't know how to call their name. Was not the Korean way. Yeah, in Korean way, we our last name is the one letter, and then the first name is two letter, right? But they didn't know how to call it. Yeah. And anyway, so the movie was rather than the racial discrimination, it was focused. It was focusing on the mother, their emotional gap in, how can I say, their identity, the sons, yeah. And at the end of the movie, the film became more related to the life. Life itself rather than this kind of Korean diaspora life. Yeah, it was because the mother is diagnosed with the terminal cancer. So yeah, the single mother's very tough life to sacrifice and the love for her sons. Yeah, it's very, it's just a quiet, very tender film. And it's about not only just the immigrant experience, but also the very, very, very key essence of the motherhood or her personal loss and the reality of the living between, in different worlds. And yeah, so that kind of things, so that I'm watching the movie, I just felt some kind of nostalgia for the time when the Korean, that we are not that globally or recognizable in the time. Yeah. So sad movie and very, tender, very quiet movie it was. So this is all for today. And I really hope this kind of my habit just to improve my memory. Yeah. But maybe I sometimes, I would mix up some details. When I talk about the movie, I may, mix up all details from different films. Like I was talking about the Rice Boy Sleeps, but at the same time, I can mix up their stories with another movie like Minari, yeah, something like that. So I hope in that case, if in that case happens, so I hope really you could understand. Yeah, if that happens, you could understand for me, because I'm quite old. Okay, so have a great Sunday for the rest of the Sunday. Yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.